All right, everybody, today we're going to be opening up whatever we have left of this box of War of the Spark and a Double Masters VIP. Really excited about this, but we'll get started with War of the Spark first. On our themes of Planeswalkers and Legendaries that we've been on, we had War of the Spark, then we got to open up some Dominaria. You can see some of these packs have roller marks on them. It's interesting. So yeah, let's see what's going on in these packs. All right. Sacrifice. Do some of our uncommons. Commons. There we go. Great uncommon. Mayhem Devil. Used to play this in Standard. Bond of Version. Planeswalker. In every single pack, we have Ashiok the Dream Renderer. Beautiful card. Still play it in Modern. Spells and abilities your opponents control. Can't cause their controller to search their libraries. So only your opponents cannot search. Then they mill the top 4, and then you exile everybody's graveyard except for yours. Really sweet. Deliver Unto Evil. Card that did not deliver, but the artwork delivered beautifully by Seb McKinnon. Super beautiful artwork. Choose up to 4 target cards in your graveyard. If you control Bolas Planeswalker, return those cards to your hand. Otherwise, an opponent chooses 2 of them. Leave the chosen cards in your graveyard and put the rest in your hand. Then exile it. A Mountain and a Spirit. Challenger Troll. Invade the City, where this is for the first time where we got a mess. Our Planeswalker is Kiora, Behemoth Beckoner. It's 3 mana for a 7 loyalty Planeswalker. Has a static ability. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. And -1 untap target permanent. And our rare is Commence the Endgame. Cannot be countered. It's 4 and 2 blue for an instant. Draw 2 cards, then amass X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Very sweet. Got a Johnny's Pridemate. Whenever you gain life, put a 1 counter on it. Very classic in most mono white life gain decks. Apparition for Proliferate. Flux Channeler. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Proliferate. Proliferate was a big theme in this because of these Planeswalkers. Our rare is the Planeswalker, Domri, Anarch Bolas. Static is creatures you control get +1/+0. It's 1, a red, and a green for a 3 loyalty Planeswalker. +1, add a red or a green. Creature spells you cast this turn can't be countered. It's super important. People always forget that this is a thing, that your creatures cannot be countered once you've plus Domri. First thing you do for your turn is plus Domri. Or a target creature you control fights another target creature you don't control. Some nice built-in removal. And we got a foil Sky Theater Strix. Has a copy. I love Domri. I play it in most decks that can support it, especially against blue decks. Bond of Passion. Nissa's Triumph. Planeswalker is the Wanderer. Prevent all combat damage ever dealt to you and other permanents you control. Exile target creature with power 4 or greater. Another Planeswalker that I think is undervalued. Prevent all non-combat damage that be dealt to you, especially in burn matchups. You know, it's a pretty powerful effect. Our rare is Living Twister. It's a 2/5 elemental for 2 red and a green. 1 and a red, discard a land, deals 2 damage to any target. Pay a green, return a tapped land you control to its owner's hand. If you're running out of lands to discard. Not the best dude. Not played that often. This 1/1 lifelink haste, not bad. Eternal Skylord. Enters the battlefield, amass 2, and then zombies, tokens you control have flying. Pretty powerful and limited. Bond of Insight, also pretty powerful. Our Planeswalker, Dariel, Rogue, Shadow Mage. Beginning of each opponent's upkeep, if that player has lost one or fewer cards, has one or fewer cards in hand, Dariel will deal 2 damage to them. -1, target player discards a card. Very sweet mythic. God Eternal Kefnet. 2 and 2 blue for a 4/5 flying zombie god. You may reveal the first card you draw each turn as you draw it. Whenever you reveal an instant or sorcery card this way, copy that card and you may cast the copy. The copy costs 2 less to cast. And then, like all gods from this set, when God Eternal Kefnet dies or is put into exile from the battlefield, you may put it into its owner's library, 3rd from the top. These gods in Limited were just an auto win. They were way too powerful for Limited, and anybody that had them, you can't remove them. They're always going to get shuffled back into the library, so you're not really milling them either. It's just an auto win card for Limited, and a really good win card for every other format. The gods were super powerful in this set. Riders, another Triumph. Our Planeswalker is Angrath. Creatures you control have Menace as the static ability, and -2, amass 2. And our rare, Bioessence Hydra, 3 green and a blue for a Hydra Mutant 4/4 with Trample. Enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it for each loyalty counter on a Planeswalker you control, or Planeswalkers, so if you had multiple Planeswalkers. Whenever one or more loyalty counters are put on Planeswalkers you control, put that many counters on the Hydra. Pretty good in a Planeswalker deck or a Super Friends deck, but not that great otherwise. Teferi's Time Twister is actually a card that sees a lot of play. Exile target permanent you control. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. If it enters the battlefield as a creature, it gets an additional counter. Waddley's Raptor. Vigilant 2/3 for 2. Already great stats. Whenever it enters the battlefield, proliferate. Pledge of Unity. Our Planeswalker is Nahiri, Storm of the Stone. It's 4 mana for a 6 loyalty Planeswalker. As long as it's your turn, creatures you control have first strike and equip abilities you activate cost 1 colorless less to activate. You can minus it to deal X damage to target tapped creature. And our rare, Command the Dreadhorde. Very powerful rare. Used a lot in Standard. Choose any number of target creatures or Planeswalker cards in any graveyard. Command the Dreadhorde deals damage to you equal to the number of converted mana costs of those cards. Then put them onto the battlefield under your control. Super powerful card to steal people's things out of their graveyards. Take some damage, but get a bunch of Planeswalkers and creatures back. It's pretty sweet. This pack was upside down. Interesting. Nothing different about it, seems. Electro Manager, Bond of Retrieval. Our Planeswalker is a really good one. Saheeli, Sublime Artificer. It's 1 hybrid blue-red and blue-red. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 colorless servo artifact creature token. -2, it starts at 5. -2, target artifact you control becomes a copy of another target artifact or creature you control until end of turn, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. So that's really, really powerful. And we got a Blast Zone, a rare land. Blast Zone enter with the charge counter on it. You tap for colorless, pay XX, put a charge counter on it, and then pay 3 and sacrifice it. Tap and sacrifice it. Destroy each non-land permanent converted mana cost equal to the number of charge counters on it. Really great. Remove everything. Land of a certain mana value. Obviously, this was before mana value. It's converted mana cost. Death Sprout. Dread Mulligan, Dreadhorde Twins, and our Planeswalker is a rare. Vivian, Champion of the Wilds. 2 and a green for a 4 mana Vivian, or excuse me, 4 loyalty. You may cast creature spells as though they had flash. +1 until your next turn. Up to 1 target creature gains vigilance and reach. -2, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Exile 1 face down and put the rest in the bottom of your library in any order. For as long as the card remains exiled, you may look at that card and you may cast it if it's a creature card. And of course, your creatures get flash. Another upside down. Evolution Sage was really sweet when it first came out. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, proliferate. Bathe the City. And our Planeswalkers are rare. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, another great commander card. If you would draw a card where your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead. +1, target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Draw a card. -8, draw 7 cards. Then if your library has no cards in it, you win the game. Really great win conditions. And a foil Blast Zone. Very sweet. Same rare as our last pack, but foil. Beautiful. Not worth a ton, but still beautiful. Some of these packs are upside down. Another Raptor. Engraft's Rampage is a great uncommon. Black-red, choose 1. Target player sacrifices an artifact, a creature, or a planeswalker. Some good stuff coming up here. And our rare is Raul Storm Conduit. 2 a red and a blue for 4 mana Raul. Excuse me, again, for loyalty. Whenever you cast your copy in instant or sorcery, Raul Storm Conduit deals 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Its +2 ability is to scry 1. -2, whenever you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. This was used in basically an infinite win deck. That was Izzet, where you can just, it was a double-sided card where you can do X damage and then you can copy it. Super good. Bond, our Planeswalker, Teo. You have hexproof and you make walls. A rare single combat and our foil, Leyline Prowler. Single combat wasn't that great. Players can't cast creatures or planeswalker spells until next turn. That's a nice thing that people forget about. Leyline Prowler was a great card that I used in standard. Death Touch, Lifelink, 2/3. Tap to add 1 mana of any color for 1 a green and a black. Very nice. And our last War of the Spark. Bleeding Edge. Firemind Vessel. 2 mana of different colors. Chara's our Planeswalker. And our rare is another God. God Eterno Ketra. One of the best ones there is. 3 white for a 3/6 double strike. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 4/4 black zombie warrior creature. Token with vigilance. Then it has the God ability. Super amazing. Really great last pack. Very stoked. This was a great War of the Spark box full of really nice things. We are going to move on to our VIP Double Masters. Super excited for this. I'll open up one of these in a little while. Remember the phone. Start with our commons. Or the Fallen, Goblin. These are just beautiful. They're not even that curved. You can see they're pretty straight. Apprentice Wizard has a little bit of curling to it. Evoke, Dark Steel Axe, Glaze, Shatter, Mirror Retriever, definitely a very playable artifact card. Iron League, Vigorate, Hinder, Sphinx Summoner, Ravenous Intruder, Ash Barrens, Brimstone Volley. Our first rare is kind of a dud. Cogwork Assembler, 3 mana for a 2/3, pay 7. Create a token copy that's a copy of target artifact. That token gains haste, exile it. Oh, sorry, that's an uncommon. There we go. Woodland Champion. There's our first rare. Savageborn Hydra. X red and a green for a 0/0 with double strike. And as the battlefield with X1/1 counters on it, you can pay 1 in a hybrid green-red, put a 1/1 counter on it, activate this ability anytime you can cast a sorcery. Our next rare is 5 colors, Woobird. The first spell you cast each turn has Cascade for a Maelstrom Nexus. We have a full art Urza's Mine. Beautiful. Tap to make a colorless. If you control the power plant and the tower, you can make 2. Very beautiful. We got the Sword of Light and Shadow, full art. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and has protection from white and black. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, you gain 3 life and you may return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Super beautiful. Those are our 2 full arts from there. Got our full art lands. And then we got an island and a swamp. So there you go. This is our 2 big cards, Sword of Light and Shadow and Urza's Mine. Thanks for watching, everybody, and tune in for the next one. We're going to be opening a box of Throne of Eldraine.